2014, 12:41 a.m., Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia. A routine overnight flight prepares for departure. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a Boeing 777-200ER, lifts off into the darkness, carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members on its journey to Beijing. Everything appears normal. No one on board knows they are about to become part of one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. Just 38 minutes after takeoff, the cockpit transmits its final routine message. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Nothing about those words sounds unusual, but only minutes later, the aircraft disappears from civilian radar. No distress call, no emergency signal, no warning. A modern passenger jet carrying 239 people simply vanishes. At first, air traffic controllers assume it is a communication problem. Aircraft occasionally lose radio contact for short periods. But as the minutes turn into hours, hope begins to fade. Flight MH370 never arrives in Beijing. What follows becomes the largest and most expensive search operation in aviation history. Ships, military aircraft, satellites, and search teams from countries around the world race to find any trace of the missing plane. Yet the ocean remains silent. As investigators examine the available data, an astonishing discovery changes everything. The aircraft's transponder, the device that identifies an airplane to civilian radar, had stopped transmitting. Then, military radar reveals something unexpected. Instead of continuing toward Beijing, MH370 appears to have turned sharply back across the Malay Peninsula before heading northwest over the Andaman Sea. This was no ordinary flight path. Someone or something had changed the aircraft's course. But why and who was responsible? Although radio communication had ended, the aircraft continued sending automated satellite handshake signals. An airplane flying without any communication. Using complex mathematical analysis, experts narrowed the possible routes to two enormous corridors. One stretched north across Asia, the other extended deep into the southern Indian Ocean. After months of analysis, investigators concluded that the southern route was the most likely. If they were right, the aircraft had flown into one of the most remote places on Earth, a place where the ocean reaches incredible depths, a place where finding wreckage would be like searching for a single grain of sand in an endless desert. As the investigation continued, countless theories emerged. Some believed the aircraft had been hijacked. Others suspected deliberate actions inside the cockpit. Some pointed toward mechanical failure or an onboard fire that disabled communication systems. Others suggested pilot incapacitation caused by a gradual loss of cabin pressure. And, as always happens with unsolved mysteries, conspiracy theories spread rapidly across the internet. Some claimed secret military involvement. Others imagined impossible scenarios involving hidden technology or mysterious forces. Yet none of these theories has ever been supported by conclusive evidence. Then, more than a year later, a breakthrough finally arrives. In July 2015, a damaged aircraft component known as a flaperon washes ashore on Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean. Experts confirm that it belongs to Flight MH370. Over the following years, additional pieces of debris are discovered along the coastlines of Africa and nearby islands. These discoveries prove one heartbreaking reality. The aircraft ended its journey in the Indian Ocean, but the main wreckage remains missing. Even more importantly, the flight recorders, commonly known as the black boxes, have never been recovered. Investigators cannot hear the cockpit conversations. They cannot examine the aircraft's final systems. And they cannot determine exactly what happened during those final hours. The questions remain. Why did the aircraft change course? Why was no emergency message transmitted? What happened to everyone on board? Despite years of searching, with advanced sonar equipment, autonomous underwater vehicles, and deep-sea technology, the ocean has refused to reveal its secret. Several search missions have ended without success. Others have been proposed as technology continues to improve. Even today, experts believe the aircraft may still rest somewhere on the floor of the southern Indian Ocean, waiting to be found. For the families of the 239 people on board, time has never truly moved forward. Every unanswered question keeps hope alive for some, while prolonging unimaginable grief for others. MH370 is more than an aviation mystery. It is a human story, a story of loss, and a reminder that even in an age of satellites, artificial intelligence, and global communication, our world still holds places where answers remain hidden. Perhaps one day, new technology will locate the wreckage. Perhaps the black boxes will finally be recovered. And perhaps the truth behind Flight MH370 will finally come to light. Until that day arrives, the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in modern history. A Boeing 777, 239 lives, one silent night, and a mystery that still echoes across the world.